5 years of Xi Jinping's rule likely to be different from the last 10? I don't think anybody who's a serious observer of Chinese politics will assume that there can be any twist in the tail. This isn't Rajasthan where Gehlot is scheduled to be Congress president, then he decides he's not going to be president. He'd rather stay on in Jaipur. This is Beijing, where it seems the decks have been cleared for Xi to get another 5 years. What are the next 5 years of Xi likely to mean for the world? How is he likely to be different from now on?
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. Thank you so much. And I think to understand what the future holds for us or holds for the world, I think we need to understand what the past has been and what is the past record of Xi Jinping has been. Now, the past record of Xi Jinping has been to really initiate a sea grab in the South China Sea. Now, that went kind of unchecked, and because it didn't really, I mean, I think the world was very slow to realize the ramifications of the militarization of these islands, and now that has really emboldened Xi Jinping to basically eye sizable portions of of Indian territory, and of course Taiwan, which remains the I mean, that will be probably something that will cement his legacy if he manages to capture it. So I think there is a definite kind of urge to leave the PLA, as it were, off the leash.
Okay. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, your sense of how Xi, given that he's now facing some kind of a blowback on account of his zero COVID policy, given the fact that the wheels of economic growth are finally beginning to slow, the population is aging, is Xi likely to be different in his third term, and if so, in what way according to you?
You know, Rahul, let us look at the personality of President Xi. He has rolled back whatever little freedoms were there for the people in China. He has cracked down on the real estate developers, on the tech giants, and basically his mantra is to make the party supreme. He senses threats from anybody who becomes popular. The fate of Jack Ma is very well known. And then he is a very ambitious person. This is very well known. He wants to be at least regarded at the same level as Chairman Mao, if not more. And he has turned everything on his head. Now, China, after Chairman Mao, had a collective leadership. The standing committee of the Politburo, would discuss and debate. They would have serious disagreements, but they would publicly have put up a united front. Today, what we are seeing is a one-man rule, and you're seeing personalized dictatorship of President Xi Jinping. He is going to pack the Politburo and the standing committee with his proteges or cronies, whatever you call it. And if there were any checks on his authority, they would all go, because he has been ruthless in eliminating all opposition. Now, with this kind of situation and the dream that he has sold to the people of China of the great rejuvenation of the great Chinese nation and wiping out the century of humiliation, he is going to go be more and more aggressive because that is what he believes. He believes that the time has come for China. He believes that the US is a fading power. He believes that and by the way, he has the military muscle, because no navy has grown at the speed which Chinese navy has. So taken all these things together, I don't think that one would see any give on his part, because that is not his style.
No, give, but what can he potentially take? Andrew Quing, the big question, of course, is on India and on Taiwan. We already have the People's Liberation Army amassed right opposite the line of actual control, and in Taiwan, the PLA Navy continuing to make aggressive maneuvers. Do you see the next 5 years as being the window where Xi moves in on Taiwan, or do you think that's an exciting headline or an exciting international story, but something which is unlikely to really happen?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, as far as Taiwan is concerned, of course, the presidency has long made it plain that unification is part and parcel of the China dream. And the China dream is that China is destined, according to his mandate, to become an advanced socialist country by the year 2049, the 100th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. And that's the deadline for the unification of Taiwan. However, most of the Taiwanese people don't want unification, but nor do they support independence because they fear that independence would trigger Armageddon. So most people in Taiwan would like to maintain the status quo. And then the United States, in spite of the lip service to the One China policy, has seemed to be hollowing out the whole concept of One China by fielding more and more senior officials and so on and so forth. So recently, after the Pelosi visit, Beijing has published a white paper on Taiwan, stressing the need for peaceful unification. But how is that possible with most Taiwanese people do not wanting unification? The fact remains that the momentum is there. The momentum in the sense that Taiwan's economy is heavily dependent on China. A million Taiwanese are working in China with their businesses together with the members of the family. And then, of course, after the Pelosi visit, Beijing has demonstrated its ability to blockade Taiwan if push comes to shove. But ideally, the outcome would be peaceful unification through negotiations. I'm afraid that the Pelosi visit has handed a godsend to Beijing to accelerate this process to force some kind of a negotiation for an eventual peaceful unification, perhaps on more general terms compared to what